Hello and welcome back to our KSP career mode. And in today's episode we have the Eve Sciencer. This ship is loaded with science and we will do a lot. We will be taking science from Eve and Gilly and pretty much everywhere where we can while completing some interesting contracts. So stick around, this is gonna be amazing. So, right now we're arriving at Eve. And the first thing we need to do, I want to get in the same orbital plane as Gilly while we still have a lot of delta V and we need to stop around the Eve. So I was thinking of Gilly flyby would be an ideal first choice to grab that science that we can and hold on to it and transmit it back to Kerbin. Right, so let's just get on a descending node. I think 5.2 should suffice. And look at this, we have a burn of say 500 meters per second. That will just leave us with a little bit extra fuel to perform the orbital insertion burn. However, we have a total of 12 science satellites that will be deployed pretty much everywhere, and this time they have the direct communication with Kerbin. Yes, I've learned from my previous mistake, because this ship was built after I realized that, well, we need some relays. So, but first things first, we have the Orbit Eve contract, which I'm gonna happily take because I can easily fulfill it, because I just need to, you know, do the orbital insertion burn and also build a space casino. Yes, my investor tour gave me this, and actually I can do also the start exploring Gilly because, well, you know, might as well do all those contracts. So my scientific equipment is already in full gear, temperature scans and, you know, telemetry reports and all that jazz. See? Telemetry report, radiation scan, we are already starting to collect some valuable science. Yes, as I told you, I'm wasting no time. Now, some of those experiments take a really long time to finish. And all of these, by the way guys, trivia for you. I did make one tiny yet impactful mistake with the design of this ship. I'm asking you if you will spot it before I tell you which one it is. So, yes. Now, what we are doing, we are circularizing around Eve, and as you can tell, yes, we are in orbit around Eve. That means that that science should be complete, or sorry, that contract. Orbit around Eve should have been achieved, and as you can tell, I'm already aligning myself with Gilly, so to make sure to have at least flyby and get some science out of it. Magnificent. It's a small burn, 91 meters per second, and we have plenty. We have 2,231 meters per second, which should give us enough. Right, that thing being said, we are 10 seconds away from the burn, and there we go. All right, cool. That thing being said, let's go onwards to Gilly and collect all that precious science. Oh look, radiation scan, see? I just love the fact that our scans are doing and our scientific equipment is working hard to give us all sweet, sweet science. Yes, look at this beautiful how Eve is. I just love the atmospherics provided. I think this is it's either an astronomer pack or I think it's actually stock visual enhancements. So yeah, love these graphic mods. I really enjoy them. All right, so that being said, soon enough we should be arriving at Gilly. And look, these satellites have their direct dishes, so yay us! They will be able to, we will be able just to detach them, kick off the experiments and then leave, and they will be performing science nonetheless. So we don't need to do everything from our deployer ship as we had to sadly do on Duna. Oh, and we are in Solar Storm, you don't say. Huh, interesting. Alright, well, if you say so, Chief. Right, and we are sending, look at this, magnetometer is grabbing all that precious science as much as possible. Alright, radiation scan is already waiting, so what I'm actually thinking, I'm just gonna be having prepared, look, too hot thermometer, temperature scan stopped. I'm kicking them so that they're starting to work, because we will be transitioning through Gilly, and it's a small transition. We will be going quickly through Gilly's sphere of influence, and I want to make sure that all of my scientific equipment is running, because the stupidest thing you can do, you can bother yourself to get into the Gilly sphere of influence, and then all of a sudden, well, you forgot that you're gonna do anything. However, I'm gonna do a circularization burn here at Gilly, which will take a lot of our actually, you know... oh, there we go. Corrected. There we go. Perfect. 500 meters per second, and I'm just kicking it into high gear because I really want to deploy satellites in the orbit of Gilly. So now we are coming to the issue that I've set for you, a trivia if you will. And that is actually the fact that once we deploy this, you will realize what it was, because I'm gonna tell you. Haven't guessed yet? Come on, write in the comments. Quickly now. So, what design error did I make this time? Alright, the burn is done. Are you ready to hear what did I mess up this time? Alright, I'm gonna tell you. First, orbit of Eve, initiated with a Gilly and all that jazz. Beautiful. So, including contract completed. Now, I have actually lost the footage where I was deploying these experiments, but these are the satellites. The magnetometer boom. The error that I did make was that I didn't have the gyroscopes, meaning if I start the engine on these bad boys, they would just go spinning willy-nilly. So then this guy is actually the temperature scan and the radiation scan, as you can see, and it too is going in the orbit around Gilly. So that the deployer, despite the fact that I can actually run now and all of these small ships can actually fire up their engines, the reason why I shouldn't do it, because they start spinning, because they are, well, asymmetrical. And I was okay with it, and this is actually the Gravioli, which is the third one. So I've deployed 3 satellites in the orbit around Gilly, and given that they have these antennas, they will report back the science. So we will get the science data out of Gilly. What we cannot do is, because when we actually fire up these engines, and the last one is the GoreSat. I think this is one of the mods. I think this is the Magic Orbital Science. I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, Irradiance Scan, that's running. I don't know if it's the scan set or if it's, yeah. See, magnetometer report, Gilly space. So, that being said, I've also deployed a couple of experiments around Eve. But, yeah, as I said, my computer file got corrupt and I lost that footage. However, I have plenty of other footage where I'm deploying the satellites. See, I've prepared everything. Stack separator, photovoltaic panels, and the communitron. So, extend, and bam, there we go. Look at it being detached. Since this one has the direct antenna for communicating back to Kerbin, I have full control over this vessel. See? Direct control, beautiful, which means I can do whatever the hell I want. Which, of course, includes extending the magnetometer boom, capturing all this glorious footage for screenshots and selfie purposes, because, well, we enjoy it. And then we will be doing repeating, rinse, repeat many times over. So, this is the magnetometer satellite. Rename the vessel. I mean, they're ultimately all called probes, and if I want to have any sense of what is being deployed where, I need to call them myself. And I'm gonna be putting these as probes, because while they're collecting data, they are not relays. They will be relays later down the road, because they have the relay antenna. Of course, they cannot the unfortunate part is that they cannot relay through the direct antenna, because it's not designed in such a way. However, as you can see, we are performing a slight deorbit burn, and I'm setting my periapsis within the Eve's atmosphere, because we will be deploying the PressMat barometric scanner. So this one will actually be measuring, you know, the pressure. So communitron, there we go. Photovoltaic panel. I'm just queuing them up because once I deploy, I need to click everything fast. All right. Because my workload is that I first, you know, I click the extend, and decouple. Bam! There you go. So that it doesn't collide. And immediately after it's deployed, I have the full control over it, meaning that I should be deploying the solar panels and whatnot. So extend the solar panels. I'm perfectly aware. At this point, I didn't have the foldable solar panels, meaning that once this passes through Eve's atmosphere, it will pretty much be lost cause. However, I have enough battery charge that it will be hopefully sending the science that it gets back to Kerbin. At least I'm hoping it will. Right, so temperature scan, wait, telemetry report, waiting, everything is set, and that means world first. You have entered Eve's suborbital spaceflight. Given that I don't want this deployer to go and deorbit itself just yet, what I want to be doing, I first thought that I'm gonna be placing another satellite, which will be the kamikaze one, because this one is coming deep into the within the Eve's atmosphere, but then I realized I cannot control two at the same time, so it wouldn't be fun. So rather than that, I've reset my periapsis high, and now let's see, activate engine. See, I can activate the engine and I actually can do some things, but we'll see. And this polar orbit is actually quite good because it allows me to have control over my vessels the whole time. However, we come to the Mr. Snap, Crackle, and of course the last one of my favorite, Pop, which actually took care of this little satellite's ability to generate power. However, it's still in control, it still has enough battery charge, and it's still collecting data, which is the most important. As you can tell, telemetry report and atmospheric pressure scan are there, and we are just now as the Eve breaks dawn. Eve is a harsh mistress. It's a violet mistress that is really, really harsh. However, the telemetry report and atmospheric pressure report are being sent back to Kerbin, meaning that we will be getting that sweet, sweet science. So congratulations, you little dinky satellite kamikaze. Your efforts have not been in vain. Amazing. I just love doing this interplanetary stuff. I've been missing it so much. Look at this. All the data has been sent out successfully. However, that means that this little satellite is dead and it will burn up on the next re-entry. Well, what can you do? Life is harsh. Alright, once again we will be doing the deorbit burn, and I'm actually thinking this time I will be sending this deployer through the whole shenanigan. However, first I think I'll actually extend the solar panel, extend, and it's a second satellite. So science deploy probe, deploy, and we have another, you know, atmospheric flight thingy. Activating the engine and renaming the vessel. So maybe it will be gathering a little bit more science, I don't know. I'm just gonna give it Eve Atmo Suicider. Yes, because, well, and as you can see, the moment I engage the engine, it started to go into the backflip mode. I'm trying to lower its periapsis, and we'll see. If it sends some science, it sends. I will not be repeating the whole process. However, with that thing being said, we have a total of 429 meters per second in our main lander, and I'm actually starting all science equipment that I can, because we will be going through the Eve's atmosphere with this big ship. Because my goal is to deploy the lander that is supposed to be going on Eve, and this is the small craft on the top of the ship, yes, this guy, and I'm gonna have the parachute. It's currently tucked in, it's safe, so once we get low enough, and I'm hoping that the big craft will eventually shield to a degree the small lander. It does have its heat shield, however its heat shield is, well, I think it's, what was it? It is 0.625 meters, so it's a little bit problematic. So, yeah, it will not protect the solar panels and everything else, so that's another design mistake that I did. However, we will be going through the Eve's atmosphere. We have achieved atmospheric flight. Yeah, I know, that was the small kamikaze probe that went. So we are achieving a lot of, you know, milestones. Okay, now as you can see, my scientific equipment is running, and we will be getting into the Eve's atmosphere. I have opened 2 antennas just to be on the safe side and to be able to, you know, grind out some science that I can. This will be a really risky maneuver. However, we are coming into the Eve sphere. See, telemetry report, Eve flying high, temperature scan, Eve flying high. Beautiful. We are getting lots and lots of science, and I think sacrificing this core stage will be great. If we manage to land anything on Eve, it will be well worth it. So, alright, so our apoapsis is 148 by 100 and, or now 124. I've been doing a couple of circles, and so far, as you can tell, I've managed to gather enough science, and all of this is being reported back to Kerbin. Beautiful. Look at this beautiful dawn. Harsh Mistress Eve is granting us some science before it swallows this whole craft in its fiery pit of demise. This was a fun orbit, actually. Alright, so time for another pass. And the reason it does says that all of the experiments have been gathered. However, some of them are actually biome specific, meaning that if we go over a certain biome, see, atmospheric pressure, it will start chugging again. Look at this. We are now above lowlands, meaning the science has been collected again. Beautiful. So as we are passing over specific biomes, we are sucking every little single dinky part of science that we can. Alright, and I think 1 or 2 more orbits and then we will be permanently stuck in the Eve's atmosphere. There we go. I'm wondering if this is final pass or not. I'm actually not sure, guys. However, possibly it is. My goal is to get this lander landed on Eve. Well, land at least something on Eve. Okay, so as you can see, after the last pass, we are permanently now in the Eve's atmosphere. Meaning all the science that we can get, everything we can report back, we should probably do it. Now, I'm gonna deploy quickly the small lander because the mothership has served its purpose. I have engaged the engine just a little, and this is actually symmetric. Oh look, the green glow of Eve. Beautiful. Okay, so I'm actually thinking I'm gonna keep this 300 meters per second to hopefully decelerate a little bit around Eve. Let's see if we can do it. Okay, we have connection timeout. Oh, why did I have the connection timeout? Ah yeah, because I have not deployed the antenna, silly. Obviously. I mean, it's set, it will be set to auto-deploy a little bit later, just to make sure that we get... Come on. I wanted first to deploy the, to use the engine to slow down as much as I can. Ah, ditch it, it's not helping anybody. Let's deploy the antenna as quickly as we can. There we go, and we are already running some extra experiments around Eve, see? Radiation temperature, atmospheric... They're waiting, and if we manage to get anything, we'll hopefully get it landed. I don't know what will survive, so... Oh, come on. Come on, let antenna survive, please. Please let antenna survive. Come on. Come on. Oh. Yeah. Don't tell me that the parachute will survive. Okay, if this survives, this will be just crazy. By the way, guys, I'm gonna time accelerate this a little bit because this actually in real life took, let's say, 5 to 10 minutes until it landed. So I'm just, you know, accelerating it in the post-production. And as you can tell, apparently we'll be landing something on the surface of Eve. That something being the parachute, apparently. Alright, I didn't see that one coming. I never expected that the parachute is more robust than a heat shield, but I'll take what I can get. While we're doing this, guys, I would kindly ask you to smash that like button. If you're appreciating the content, it helps the YouTube algorithm tell, you know, this is actually some cool shit, and also it gives me the motivation to do a lot more interplanetary missions and actually career episodes when the times get tough. So thank you for liking the video, assuming that you press a like. If not, well, it's just below there, so yeah, please. Yeah. Alright, anyway, we are getting down. It's 20 meters per second, and soon enough, let's see if we manage to get at least the landing. Oh, something done. We have splashed down in the oceans of Eve. Woohoo! 26,000. I've cheesed right through that one. And with that thing being said, I will show you just what happened to the core ship, and as we roll the ending credits, I'm gonna thank you very much for watching. I hope you liked what you've seen in today's episode, and there will be more coming. In the next one we will be building all those important relays, hopefully using the science.